It's called a baptism. It's translated from the French, le baptême. It goes this way. For Dante Hébert, it was a matter of personal honor that he outdo and outwit his sly and aggravating neighbor, Valsin Boudreau. As for Valsin, over the years, he had refined the art of knowing just which string to pull to one-up Dante. In the past, the competition between the two men had ranged from who could grow the best sweet corn, or the largest watermelon, or even down to whose sow could deliver the largest litter. And Valsin had always gotten the best of Dante. So today, the latest competition, in Dante's mind anyway, would manifest itself at the baptismal font, where he and his wife Émilie would baptize their first child, a baby daughter, followed by Valsin and Olida's baby, their fifth boy. Early that morning then, Dante hitched his little brown mule to his buggy, and with Émilie drove as fast as he could to arrive at St. Joseph's Church before Valsin. When they arrived, however, Valsin and Olida were already there. There's one up there already. Here it must be said that the two women, good friends despite their husbands' competitive natures, thought it might be nice to have a double baptism where they could act as godparents for each other's baby. Surely this would be something nice that they could share together. Well, Émilie had already a name picked out for her baby, but Dante and her husband didn't care for it. And as for Olida, she had no idea what her baby would be called, because it was her husband who named all the babies if they were boys. And so far, she'd had no part in naming any of her children. The little Hébert girl, on the other hand, was the long-awaited first child of the Héberts. So, when Father Andrepont came walking up to the sacristy in his baptismal vestments, he asked who would be first. "It should be us, Père," said Valsin. "We was here first." "Oh, no," said Dante immediately. "Little girls should go first." "Père," said Émilie, "we haven't even agreed upon a name for our baby yet." "Yes, we have," said Dante triumphantly. "Her name is Carême." "Carême," said Valsin, a gleam lurking in his eye. "Père," said Émilie, shaking her head, "please tell my husband Carême is not a name to call a baby." The priest scratched his white-haired head. "Carême, do you mean like the Lenten period between Mardi Gras and Easter Sunday?" "Exactly," said Dante. "Our chère petite was born in Lent, so it is a wonderful name for her. Listen to how it rolls off the tongue. Carême." "I want to call her Cunit," said Émilie, "after my poor dead mother, Cunit Como." "I see," said the priest, nodding his head. "Why don't you give her two names then? Of course, she must also have a saint's name." Dante says, "We'll call her Carême Célestine then. Célestine was the name of my mother, and everyone said she was a saint." "They said that because she had to put up with you," said Émilie. "Père, isn't Cunit already a saint name?" The priest scratched at his head again. "I'm not sure, I'd have to look it up." At this point, Valsin lifted his little son above his head. "Père, I present to you Dagobert Pantaleon Savignon Henri Boudreau, named after some of the kings of France." He gave Dante a triumphant look. Of course, he had no idea if any of the names were French kings, but one of the names, Savignon, had come from an empty wine bottle he found along the road. Dante studied his neighbor for a moment, bit his lip as he considered his next move. Then he snapped his finger. "Émilie, you must give some more names to our little Carême. Queen names." "Fine," said Émilie. "Marie then. Marie is a saint name for sure, and she's the queen of heaven." "And not only that," said Dante, "but little Carême should have as many names as the little I want to add the name Fidèle after my tante. our sweet little girl will be called Carême Cunit Celestine Marie Fidèle Hébert. 5 names, said the priest. Vincent raised his hand. Pat, I want to add another name, too. Then I want to add Broguin. Broguin was my uncle's name. I never knew his real name if he had one. And he had only 1 foot, but I always had to buy a lot of shoes. He had all these extra shoes around the house. The little Boudreau will have 5 names too, said Dante with a frown. Yes, Dagobert, Pantaleon, Savignon, Henri Broguin, Boudreau. What do you think of that? Well, just a minute then. Pat, I want to add, for God's sake, Dante, cried Emily, we're not running a name race here. I don't think there will be enough space on the baptismal certificate for me to write all those names, said the priest, even if I write as small as I can. Just think, Dante, said Vincent. If your little girl is lucky enough one day to marry my little boy, the newspaper will announce that Dagobert, Pantaleon, Savignon, Henri Broguin, Boudreau will be marrying Cunit, Carême, Marie, Celestine, Fidèle Hébert. You already got her names in the wrong order, said Dante. Besides, the marriage announcement should must always give the name of the girl first. And the name of the papa and the mama of the girl first, too. Not that I would ever let my little Carême marry someone named after a work shoe, though. It'll take a whole newspaper page to print all them names, said Olida, rolling her eyes and shifting her baby to her other arm, as though all the names her husband had hung in their little son were weighing him down. That's all right, said Dante. I'll write the announcement, since Vincent don't know how to write very good. Ha! I finished the 3rd grade, Dante. And you, were you even able to find the schoolhouse door? I passed to the 4th, thank you. Dante, said Emily, we're not supposed to tell lies in church, especially. The teacher put you out before you finished the 3rd. I propose that you each drop a name, said the priest, tugging at his collar. I'm willing to take Broguin off if Dante will remove one of his names, said Vincent. That way, things will be equal. Oh, it's easy for you to remove a silly name like Broguin, said Dante. Which one of my pretty names can I take off? Well, let me tell you that Carême sounds a lot sillier than Broguin, said Vincent. Why don't you call her Mardi Gras instead? Actually, I like that name too. But Pat wants us to cut down. Huh? At that moment, the restless little Boudreau let out a howl, and little Hébert began wailing as well. Now look at what your little Boudreau started, said Dante, reaching over to pat his little Carême on the head. They have too many names, that's the problem, said Emily. Yes, said the suffering priest, we've run out of time. I'll baptize the little girl first. Madame Olida, as godmother, you hold her, and Vincent, as godfather, place your hand on the baby. Seeing victory was his, Dante smirked at Vincent. Don't press so hard on her little belly with your big hand. When the priest finished baptizing the little girl with her 5 names, he turned to Emily, who held the Boudreau baby, and indicated that Dante place his hand on the little boy. Dante put his left hand on him, then lifted his right hand as though swearing on the Bible. Vincent says, just baptize him Henri Broguin, Père. He will just have 2 names. What? Said Dante, staring wildly at Vincent. I changed my mind. Little Broguin will have too hard a time learning how to spell all the other names. At that very moment, little Henri Broguin Boudreau stopped crying, and little Carême Cunit Celestine Fidèle Marie Hébert burped, soiling her diaper, and gave a beatific smile.